training session for our members only of Lethal Commission. I'm here along with our creator of the software, Sean Donahoe, and if you've not met Sean yet, I will be talking about him a lot coming up soon. He is a brilliant marketer online, and it is an honor and a pleasure to have been able to work with him on the software for Lethal Commission. You are working with one of the smartest and slickest marketers out there when it comes to automation. That is exactly why he's built this tool and why I'm so happy to have worked with him on this tool, because there are things that even I can tell you after 8 years of being online, I don't know, I don't understand, but Sean is absolutely the master of. So Sean, I just want to take a moment right now in front of everyone to thank you for having been a part of this project and for having created such an amazing technology for us.
Hey, absolutely. It's been my honor because, come on. A launch that has a full feature film, how could I say no to be involved with something like that? I'm just glad I wasn't actually Marcelo Sanchez in the movie and got blown up at the end. That would have really hampered my kind of ego. But, that was such an awesome opportunity. I couldn't say no.
Awesome. All right, well, everyone, let's go ahead and get started. And just so you know, we have a full room. I have hundreds of people here. If you do type in a question in the question box while we're presenting, I'm going to tell you right now, honestly, we are going to miss it. I'm not going to see it because I'm focused on so many things. We will try our very best to do at least a short Q&A session at the end, but as you can imagine, with hundreds of people on board, it's going to be nearly impossible to get through everyone's questions. So before we even start, I want to let you know, if for some reason we do not address your question, you are more than welcome, and we encourage you to access our support team, and they will do their very best. And if there are questions we see recurring, and we keep seeing them come up over and over, you can definitely expect us to address them in future training sessions. Having said that, I want to dive right into today. We're going to talk about the quickest ways to get started with the least amount of investment. Now, this is a really important point because it's very different than what you're probably used to. I'm not talking about, we're not going to teach you tonight how to make millions. Okay? That's not what I'm going to do. I'm not going to teach you tonight how to wake up tomorrow morning and go buy a Ferrari. That's not what this is about. What we're going to teach you, though, is how you can quickly get started, because that's the most important step, and how to do so without making yourself go bankrupt. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars on traffic. You don't need to spend hundreds of hours. We're going to teach you the kind of the least abrasive way of getting involved. And the first strategy, or the first thing we're going to share or shed some light on, is what we call this $8 versus free strategy. And all of you are familiar with it by now. If you saw the sales video, which you did, you watched how I compared New York and buying real estate in New York. Well, we're going to talk more about that. The second thing we're going to dive into is best practices to making money. Now, that's really important, right? You can have a website with tons of traffic, and that's all good and great, but what are a few things that Sean and I have really noticed and picked up in the last few months that can make a huge difference on your website as far as how much money it makes? Believe it or not, you could have two identical sites that look the same, that market the same way, that are both built using the same software, but one could be making 2, 4, 5 times the money as the other one, even though they have the same affiliate offer, same banner, same AdSense code. There are things that one site could do that are just a little different that would make it that much more valuable to Google. We'll share those with you. And then we're going to go over some free tips to blast your traffic. And what's really cool is I went through some of my prior presentations I've done in the past where I teach students how to automate their traffic generation in the beginning to get more traffic. And you know what I found? Most of the things I used to suggest, you no longer need to do because the software will do it for you. And I'll get into that, and I'm going to show you what I mean. And then, of course, we're going to do a software walkthrough and demo, which, Sean, there is no better person in the world to show you than the person who created it. And then, no promises yet. If we have some time, we'll like to address some questions. Otherwise, like I told you, if you have a question that's not answered, there is a around-the-clock staff right now waiting to help you, and we encourage you to utilize them. So let's talk about what an $8 plot of land is versus free. So essentially, if you want to build real estate online, what is real estate online? It's a domain name. A website is like owning an apartment building or owning a plot of land. So there's really two kinds of websites you can have. One is you go out and you pay for a domain name and some hosting, right? That's where the $8 comes in. Literally, it costs $8 to get a domain name. And nowadays, hosting It's all over the place. You can get free hosting, you can get $20 hosting, you can get $8,000 hosting. It just depends. But that's when you choose to go the route of having real estate that you've paid for. Then there's the free strategy, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. Now, I know that you look at this and you must think to yourself, well, obviously, why would I want to spend any money if I can do it for free? Well, hold your horses. Don't get so excited about that, because there are advantages and disadvantages to both. And we're going to share them with you today so that you have a chance to make your own decision as to which is the best for you. And then I'll share with you what I feel is the best for you given a couple of scenarios or situations. But essentially, $8 plot of land means you go to sell a service like GoDaddy or Namecheap and you buy a domain name. Like if I were to go out and buy lethalcommission.com, I paid $8-9 for that domain name. That's a premium plot of land, premium real estate, something that you own, you bought. That literally lethalcommission.com, when I bought it for $9, had a certain value. Well, guess what? Today, if I tried to sell it, its value has gone up exponentially. Why? Because it's got traffic, it's got brand, it's got a product related to it, it's making money, it's obviously got software related to it. Go to aniksingal.com. When I first bought it, I bought it for $8 or $9. Today, years later, go back and look at what I could sell it for. It's got thousands of incoming links. It's got thousands of visitors. It's got index content. It's got brand name, value, design. So that's exactly what happens with a plot of land, right? You go somewhere, you pay a little bit of money, then you wait for that land to mature. You build property on top of it. Maybe you build, a house, an apartment building, a commercial real estate. And all of a sudden that land is worth a ton more money. Except even in physical real estate, you're going to have to wait 100, 200, 300 years to get the kind of return you can get on the internet within like weeks. So it's a really amazing concept, and that's why I'm sharing this with you. Now, what is the free strategy and how does the free strategy work? Well, there's a lot of places on the internet where you don't have to pay for a domain name or pay for hosting. They will give you something on their site as free. For example, the best example is Google's Blogger. Blogger allows you to have your own real estate online that you can literally launch. Like any one of you right now, if you wanted, could launch your own virtual real estate on the internet before this webinar is even over. Now, I don't want you to do that because you need to pay attention here, but it would basically give you a URL like aniksingal.blogspot.com. Right? That would be one example of a URL. It would give you a URL based on the main URL of the company. And this is not the only one out there, but this is the one owned by Google. So obviously, there's advantages to working with them. But it's literally free, and you can launch it instantly. You would be live within the next 5 minutes, and you don't have to put a penny down. And you can launch as many of these as you want. Now, sounds great, right? Well, there are advantages and there are disadvantages to doing both. We will get into them. However, Lethal Commission, the way we created it for you is in case you want to be able to launch an empire or virtual real estate using the free strategy, guess what? You can. You don't have to individually go into Blogger and manage all of your blogs. You can do so, and you can launch, manage, and automate the entire process from A to Z right from lethalcommission.com. Not only that, once you start to upgrade into the premium strategy and you're out there buying domain names and getting premium properties, you can still manage your free properties and your premium properties from one area. So what I'm going to do real quick is, because I want you to understand what Blogger is, how it works, we're going to take just a few minutes and I'm going to ask Sean if Sean can come back online and maybe just do a quick tour of Blogger. So I think what I'll do here is move the presentation over to you, Sean. Is that good?
Yep, rock and roll.
All right, let me see if I can figure out how to do this. This will show you guys how savvy I am with technology.
I'll tell you what, I'll change myself to it. There you go.
Awesome, thank you. Saved me.
Okay, so just accepting that now. And it should take just a second for it to transfer, guys, so hold on to your horses. And I'm getting a GoToWebinar not responding, so...
well, let me keep talking. I'll talk to you guys more while this gets set up about the paid strategy. Personally, what do I do? Okay, I definitely feel the value of going out and getting domain names. The reason is you have a lot more control. when I tell you about the disadvantages of using something like Blogger, I'll tell you the number one disadvantage right from the beginning, and that is you don't control that real estate. If I had to use an analogy, it's very similar to if you were renting a property from somebody. You're not the owner, and if that person decides tomorrow that they want to kick you out, technically, according to the law, they can. And that's exactly how Google works. So if Google turns around one day, and they've done it many a times, they do it over and over. This is not something that is, unique. They can come tomorrow and be like, you know what? We don't like you. We don't like your account. Bam, shut down. And that could mean that if you've been running that real estate for 2 years, 3 years, and maybe you have a portfolio and they shut your whole account down, that's it. Everything you did washed away overnight, gone. And that is a very frightening feeling to me. That is not something I like at all. And the scarier part is it happens. It has happened. I've seen it happen. And guess what? It's happened to me even. And so because of that, I'm very wary of building a long-term strategy around this. However, having said that, a lot of you are just starting. And when you're just starting, it's more important that you get your feet wet and you get some income coming, right? You just want to learn the process. You want to see the landscape. And if that's the situation, launching a few real estate online with using something like Blogger is not a bad idea. Because remember, when you rent, there are also advantages. You are not responsible for that house. You are not responsible for the upkeep. You are not responsible for the maintenance. Exactly here, Blogger is going to make sure technically and everything is sound. They make it very turnkey, especially once you tie in lethal commission. They make it super easy to use. So the first few properties you launch, if you're just getting started, you literally are just starting, I say go for it. I think the free strategy is the best way to go. But as soon as you get your hands on it, as soon as you figure out what it is, how it works, how the marketing works, how the traffic is coming, how you're making money, and you start to get your long-term strategy down, you've got to change it right away. You've got to move over to the VIP or the paid or the premium or whatever you want to call it, where you are actually going out and no longer renting property but buying it. So now what you're doing, and it's just $8 at that time. See, guys, hosting is not expensive. You can buy, we have one of the best hosting deals for you guys right inside of Lethal Commission. It's very inexpensive, but it gives you full control over your property. You can do whatever you want. You can take one property and decide if you want to make, just one site on it. You could make multiple sites on it. I mean, there's just so much you can do with it to increase its value. And then the other thing is, you're not really going to go out one day and sell a Blogger blog. I mean, you might be able to, but if you have your own site, you could pass that down generations. It becomes a true asset. And it's under your control. It gives you a lot more flexibility of things you can do, things you can try, things you can test. So,
can you hear me, guys?
I can hear you, Sean. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I had to log out and log back in, and I'm still not able to transfer presentership. But just while I'm waiting for it to try, the other thing is I wanted to throw out there is that the thing with using Blogger is you can get indexed very quickly in Google, but in terms of a ranking foundation and flexibility, owning your own properties with WordPress, and WordPress has the best search engine optimization foundation out there. You have far more control and power to rank your sites at the top of the search engines than you would with Blogger. So while Blogger is a free service, and it's a great service, you are far, far better off owning your own properties, as Anik suggested.
So as Sean said, tons of advantages, but I am a big advocate of if it's going to help you get started quicker, faster. That's a big reason why this feature was built into Lethal Commission and why Sean masterminded it, was because it really removes all possible excuses that you could possibly have about not starting. And so that is why we put it in there. And I still want to show you the back end and the inside of Blogger, even though you're going to be managing most of it right from Lethal Commission, and it wouldn't be a huge deal. So we went over some advantages and disadvantages. Well, let's talk about them in a little bit more detail. The advantages side is one, for example, free. That's a huge advantage. You guys can literally start right now. I said you could launch before this webinar is even over. Second is it's hosted by Google. So that includes the technology, the hosting, there's no cost, and you're going to stay up. You get instant credibility for ranking on Google. And Sean just talked about how you can get pretty much immediate ranking and indexing. Well, again, it's a Google blog, and so they're obviously going to rank and look at and index their own blogs. It's just a really quick way to get your feet wet with the world of internet marketing. And that's really all I want you to do. So that's why we put this in there. Now, if you look at some of the disadvantages, like I said, it's not your property. It's essentially like renting. And that's a big problem. And Google can shut you down at any time, which, again, don't downplay how serious that can be, because they have been known to do it over and over. And what will happen is they don't care nor give you a reason why, and they don't have to. Their terms of service are very clear. They can shut you down as they wish, whenever they wish. So because of that, if someone came to me and said, I'm going to build a long-term strategy that goes over years, where I am simply going to be building, hundreds, if not thousands, of properties based around the Blogger platform, I would instantly tell them that they are in for they're taking the riskiest venture they possibly could. So what do I say? Maybe your first 5, 6, 7, 10, 15, just to get your feet wet, just to get the feeling going. Maybe that is done from the free side. But then you got to start playing with and moving over to the premium side, where you pay for a domain name. Now, as you continue to build your real estate empire, that doesn't mean you can't come back every now and then and throw in some Blogger blogs just to kind of, mix it up, to use those Blogger blogs to maybe help index and give you more ranking at your premium properties. You can kind of keep mixing it, but you should not build a long-term strategy based around the Blogger or the free strategy. So essentially it comes down to the free strategy is a great way to start, but you want to build your own domains eventually. Now, remember I told you I'm going to share a quick secret with you about making money using these kinds of sites or using any brand new site. We actually found a few months back through specific testing something very interesting. What we found was Google is now not only watching the way your site grows, how fast it grows, its age, how new it is, what kind of content, unique content. What we really found is Google is also watching what kind of promotions you have on your site. They're actually watching to see if you launch your site from day one with just banners everywhere, AdSense, make money offers, opt-ins. See, they know that a genuine user who's putting up a website to really truly provide content, the kind of people they love, is probably, it's not that they're not going to want to monetize their site. They know that there'll be banners there, there'll be AdSense. They obviously want you to put AdSense on their site, but it's not going to be fully loaded with it. It's not going to be just jam-packed with all that stuff. So what we've been now testing and what we found works really well was to slowly add in the make money stuff on your website. So if you launch your first, you kind of get your site going, it's okay if you don't have AdSense on it. It's okay if you don't have a bunch of ClickBank banners and CPA offers. Kind of let it go for a week. Let it go for a few days. Just let it kind of ease in and then start adding things to it slowly. And don't do it all at one time. So don't go in a week later and then all of a sudden the site's full of banners. Maybe a week later the site's got a few things, and then a week later it's got a few more things, and a week later it's got, so like a proposed possible recommended plan that you see is, initially add some banners for some affiliate products, 10, 15 days in, add some AdSense, 16, 30 days in, start to add some CPA offers or anything else you want to see. And in between there, you could pick a time and add some opt-in forms or lead capture forms. So again, mix it up. Don't attack so quickly. That's it. Remember I told you there could be two sites that are identical, made using the same software, that have the same promotions, have the same content, and yet one could make like 5x the money that the other one makes? This is it. It's because this strategy would show Google that you are literally somebody who's kind of like starting a site genuinely, and as time goes, you're figuring out how to make it better and how to improve from it. All right, now let's talk a little bit about traffic. Guys, I'll tell you one thing right now. We are going to talk about traffic a lot more in the coming weeks. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you a URL soon for a webinar that we are doing Thursday night, this coming Thursday. I want you guys to register for it right away and make sure you are there. But I'm going to give you just a couple of quick things right now that you should focus on doing every time you launch a new property or a new real estate online. Okay, well, I just got a tip here that I should probably take some time before I dive into this. There are a lot of questions coming in about what is CPA. Excellent question, guys. I will take a minute right now to explain that to you, and I apologize. Sometimes I go off because I've been doing this for so long, and thank you so much for asking questions about it. CPA stands for cost per acquisition. Now, what that means is this. Here's how to make money online, right? If you put up a ClickBank banner, you will make money every time someone goes and buys something, right? That means the person you referred to ClickBank, they have to put their credit card down and make a transaction. Now, what about AdSense? The way AdSense works is you simply put some code on your website, and anytime someone clicks on the ad, you make a little bit of money per click. But essentially, you're going to get a lot more volume, so you make good money. The third kind is called CPA, cost per acquisition, and it's very popular. There's a lot of different kinds of CPA, and I don't want to confuse you, but what I will tell you is this. If you want to learn about CPA, go to a site called Offer Vault. That's OFFER Vault.com. And let me do this. I'm going to type it in right here. I'm going to type it into the chat box, and I'm going to publish it to everybody. There you go. This is not an affiliate link. I do not make any money. I don't get anything for this. It's run by a friend of mine, Mark Roth. It is one of the most brilliant websites to getting access to CPA offers. It's completely free. You don't have to pay anything. And so Offer Vault will explain also what CPA is. CPA works this way. There are a lot of companies out there, all the way from Yahoo, the biggest companies out there that offer a form. So you can send traffic, rather than sending it to a page where someone has to put out a credit card and buy something, you can send traffic to a page where they literally just have to fill out a form. It could be as short as just putting their zip code in, just putting their email address in, or it could be a much longer form where they have to fill out a lot of information. And the more information the form requires, the more money that company will give you. So essentially, you're getting paid per lead. So instead of having to be paid per sale or paid per click, you're being paid per lead. And so that's what CPA is. All right? It's a great way to make money online. It is an excellent way, something you should definitely add to your sites, because a lot of marketers don't do it. A lot of marketers don't even know about it. And the cool thing about OfferVault.com is that it's got a compilation of all of the affiliate networks in one area. So you don't have to go out there.
Including ClickBank as well. So they actually include all the ClickBank offers in there as well.
There you go. So instead of having to go sign up for 50 different programs, drive yourself crazy, you just go inside Offer Vault and you can search them real quick. Like I said, it's free. Neither Sean nor I make a penny for what we just told you. It's not an affiliate link. It's just a service I truly love. So that's CPA, and we can have more about it. We can teach more about it in the coming future too. Like I said, I'm going to give you a URL pretty soon. I want you to register for the webinar.
What I'll show you guys is the difference between a Blogger blog and how quickly you can get this set up. I just set a quick Blogger blog set up. Very easy to do. In fact, I'll create one right now. So this is my Google account. I have all sorts attached to this. This is a dummy account I use to experiment and break stuff. But literally, once you've got this going, all you can do is, you find if you're using the Lethal Command Center, you found a good keyword to target with the the keyword research tool. All you need to do is come and create basically it was like a subdomain is the best way to describe it, and this will literally allow you to target keywords. So let's say, for example, we have the natural acne treatment at home, and is the title of our blog. And then you get a chance to literally claim your real estate. So in this case, it could be if natural acne treatment, and it helps if I could type treatment at home is the keyword. You'll see here that's all targeted. It's part of the URL, which is good for search engine optimization. and it says it's got the check mark there. That means it's good. And then you can choose from any one of their templates here. Now I'm going to just choose the default one here for now. And my screen is a little too small, so the actual apply image is slightly off the screen. So I'm going to drag that to my other screen and create the blog. And you'll see in just a second it will update here. And then there it is right there. And I can view my blog. And it says, basic stuff here. It's got, basic stuff, nothing on here, no posts found at all. And the same here with this one, which is get your butt in shape. If I have all these blogs set up, I've just created 2 apartment buildings in the New York. But again, it's cost me nothing. I don't own them. Google can say, hey, we don't like this, and tear down your building at any time. So while you can get started for free, and you can monetize these with AdSense, they'll allow you, once you get set up, to start monetizing all of this. In fact, if you come down here, you can see all of your options, including your earnings for any particular blog. I haven't actually set up AdSense on any of these test blogs, but here's a great thing, guys. If you haven't got a AdSense account yet, start off with Blogger, add some unique content, and then after about a week, come and click on this sign up for AdSense. And because you've got real estate with Google, Google will give you preferential treatment and give you that AdSense account, because it's a lot harder now than it used to be to get a AdSense account. So everything we're talking about here, you're building a foundation. And one thing that I'm always talking about with my students, and I'm always going back and forth with Anik about this, is creating a solid foundation so that you can build your empire on it. If your foundation is terrible, all your buildings are going to come crashing down. You have to build and start with a solid foundation. And that's why this isn't one of those things you've seen out there, the push-button millionaire stuff, where you push a button, you have a great site, and off you go and you're a millionaire. No, this takes time, does take work, but we try and simplify them. What I've done is I've built a massive, massive network of these sites for myself. And this tool was literally built to automate as many parts of that, my day-to-day running, the promotion, the management, content, and everything else as possible. So what you see here is literally a blank template that we can now start filling with whatever we want, as opposed to something like WordPress, which is, let me just give you this one. And this is one that actually the Lethal Command Center will build for you, but you can see this is heavily monetized because I'm an ad junkie. But you can see I've got AdSense ads right here. You could swap this out with whatever you want. You could put ClickBank ads up here, or you could take all these ads out. It's entirely up to you. We've got AdSense here. We have the ability to translate your entire page. You can see instantly everything is translated into French or German or Italian, whatever you want. You have ads here from ClickBank. So this, again, is a blank template that we create for you with the command center. Actually, let me put this back in English so I can actually understand what I'm looking at. And again, you're off to the races. So imagine all this flexibility directly at your control, and you can either create your own $8 setup, which is, no-brainer as far as I'm concerned, or you can create your free real estate to get started until you can move into your bigger apartment. It's a great analogy to use. But with everything you've got at your fingertips here, again, you become the new Donald Trump of the internet. And that's what I've tried to create here for everyone, is some very powerful software that will allow you to go from start to finish. And in a few moments, we're going to do a software demo, and I'll literally race through and show you some of the stuff that we do with this, including keyword research, managing the blogs, content management, some of the promotion tools, and we'll have some fun with that. But I'm glad that we got that sorted out. And just on the off chance that there's a problem, do you want me to bring up that? Is there anything extra in that PowerPoint that you sent me? And do you want to continue it from my side, Anik? Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Sorry. Hey, sorry, I was on mute. What I was saying is, why don't we just run it from your end, because I didn't add anything extra, so that way we don't have to do a transition again and risk.
Okay, yeah, so I was going to say,
So
just to be on the safe side. Okay, and let me just get to the right part then. So, okay, so what we were talking about just a few moments ago was some of the stuff about creating traffic. So one thing you can do, and this is kind of like the standard thing from back in the day, was that you could start creating and submitting to search engines. For example, you'd go submit your site to Google. You would go to Yahoo Site Explorer and submit your site, and you could do the same with your Bing. And now Bing feeds Yahoo, so they kind of consolidated a lot. And there's other search engines out there as well. But that's the old school. We don't do that stuff anymore. So you don't have to worry about any of that because, again, all of the software I've built does all this for you. So, it's the old way of doing it where, back in, I would say, even as far back as 2004, if you submitted your site to all the search engines, a few directories, you'd actually get a lot of traffic. You'd even pay for inclusion into Yahoo. You would go submit a few articles to Easy Articles and Articles Base, and again get some backlinks that way, get some traffic, and you'd start seeing some movement on your website. Well, it's really a different world now. You have so many competitors out there, and that's why we've again developed these specific strategies based on, I would say, stuff that really works, that a lot of people don't realize. There's a lot of SEO experts out there that will tell you, oh, you need to pay them thousands of dollars for them to get you on the first page of Google. Well, I'll tell you right now, the first step to getting on the first page of Google is picking the right keywords. From there, picking the right domain, and from there, creating the right framework. Well, that's what Lethal Commission does for you. So, now, I see in this one, and I'm going to jump over here, the first thing you need to do, guys, is go sign up for the next webinar. And this you'll be able to get to from lethalcommission.com/webinar, and then sign up there. This is the next one that's going to be on Thursday. Is that correct, Anik? Maybe he's on mute again. But if you go there, this will be the one that's on Thursday, and they're going to be covering some extra stuff and it should be November 17th, I think it is. But you go sign up there, make sure you're on that one. Again, a lot more training, a lot more information, and stuff like that. Now, moving on from here, once you've signed up there, we also talked about things you can do manually, things like submitting to the article directories. These are the top 5 article directories out there right now. But you know what? You don't have to do that anymore. That's the old school way of getting traffic. So, guys, let Lethal Command Center do all of this for you. Here's just a sample of what we do with Lethal Command Center. You can submit your sites to hundreds of secret indexing sites. Now, these can give you a range of links and exposure to help even the newest of new sites get indexed and found by the top search engines. In fact, I can tell you right now, this is a strategy I've been sat on for, I would say, almost 4 years. Very few people know about this particular strategy, and we built this directly into the tool. We can also submit your site to dozens of blog RSS directories. We take the RSS feed from either your Blogger blog or from your WordPress blog and submit it to these sites. Now, these sites generate a ton of backlinks, and then you can even build backlinks to your backlinks. You can do all sorts of really cool stuff. I am very big about RSS is real simple syndication, and there's all sorts of things you can do with this. Now, for example, we got this right here. I have no posts here at the moment, so I can take this RSS feed, even though it hasn't got any posts at the moment, and submit this out, it could have like a ton of posts here, and it will show you links to them and images and a summary. And if I submit that out to all the different RSS directories, I get a ton of backlinks back to anything I do. And that's the beauty of doing this kind of thing. You can also ping your site to hundreds of blog directories, and we even reping so that we drive, even to older posts, we drive new traffic to them all the time. And each time you make a post, we can also post that to over 30 different social networks, including Facebook, Twitter for some amazing traffic. We can also put them out to some of the Web 2.0 sites out there, some of the the actual high page rank blogs. We can push them out to different microblog networks. So again, we're not just relying on Google for traffic. We're actually giving them what's called a social fingerprint. Because here's one thing, and I don't want to go off on a geeky tangent like I usually do, but Google is really paying very close attention to not just your backlinks and what you're doing on the page, but also what I call the SEO, which is social media search engine optimization. They look at your activity, who's talking about your website out there in the social networks, and that plays a massive part of their new ranking algorithm. So a lot of the people out there who are saying, oh, just build backlinks, they're going to shoot themselves in the foot. You need to be out there creating links in the social networks. And again, we do this automatically for you with this software. And then we talked about submitting your articles. Well, imagine creating a massive network of articles all interlinked, linking to each other and to your site, creating a literal web and cyclone of high page rank content. That's what this does for you. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this is the secret behind absolutely everything I do. And it's why Anik approached me in the first place with the software, because he heard what I was working on and what I was doing, and he says, Sean, we've got to do this. We've got to show everyone exactly what you do. And it's down to one very simple secret: scale plus automation. Now, think about this. This is a brand new way to think about making money online. So here's what we're doing. Imagine this, and this is simple numbers here. Imagine you had 50 sites making just $5 a day from everything from AdSense revenue, ClickBank revenue, and from Amazon revenue, or any other type of monetization you have going on. I mean, it doesn't matter what you're doing. So it doesn't matter how you're monetizing it. $5 a day per website is nothing. I actually am disappointed if I'm only making $5 a day. I'm looking to make $15 to $20 a day from my sites. But let's keep the numbers small so that they're easily achievable. If you have 50 sites making $5 a day, that's $250 a day, or $91,000 a year. Now, if you had 50 sites making $10 a day, obviously that's doubled. That's $180,000 a year from just 50 sites. Now, again, if I have 50 sites, I would prefer to own them rather than have them at the control and mercy of Google, because we know what Google's like. They have their weird whims, and suddenly they can wipe the slate clean. And suddenly all your properties have disappeared. That's why I like to control my own. So, again, think about this. And again, this is scale and automation. Add an extra 10 sites to your network every single month, okay? Or get someone to outsource it. Maybe you can hire someone from, say, here's a great resource. Write this down, guys. onlinejobs.ph. That's an outsourcing site I use in the Philippines, where I can hire a dedicated 40-hour-a-week outsourcer for about $300 a month. That's an amazing, amazing resource. And you can show them in a very brief video how to do what we do, and off you go. So you can also build up your network that way. That's an extra 120 sites per year. So even at $5 a day per site, and you keep that consistently as you grow, that takes you from $250 to $850 a day. Now, $850 a day, guys, is $310,000 a year in income on autopilot. Once you set these up, they work for you day in, day out. So this is really the brand new approach to niche marketing that, again, it's all about scale and automation. This is not push-button riches. It does take some work, but we have tried to make sure that this is as simplified as possible. So there you go. That's kind of the starting point of a lot more that you're going to learn. And again, I just want to mention that webinar address real quick. It's lethalcommission.com/webinar. Please make sure you signed up for this. It's going to be an amazing webinar, and we are going to reveal in that webinar is something 100% new in regards to the new way to do niche marketing. So this is just at the tip of the iceberg here. Okay, so ask yourself a question. This is it's kind of like a mindset thing right now. Can you spare 2 to 3 hours a day to commit to your own business, or even a little less? And ask yourself, can you stick to actually a successful game plan until you start seeing that success? And can you actually push yourself to keep moving forwards? And can you overcome small obstacles? And can you see the real potential that I was just talking about in regards to scale and automation? Now, guys, I just want to tell you right now, I've built up in just a few short months 1,000 websites in my network doing exactly what you're seeing here today, and on average earning about $15 per site. Now, I push a lot of stuff at my sites, and I build them up exactly as I've shown you in this Lethal Commission course. Now, you might have also heard about my other course that I did, which is Commission Commando. A lot of the principles between these two courses are very, very similar. It's all about scale and automation, whereas that course was more about the actual principles. This is all about the software to put everything into practice. So you've got the best of both worlds, and all of that power and knowledge literally delivered to you in this amazing software. So the outsourcing URL again is onlinejobs.ph. Let me actually type this in here to everybody, to all the audience. So onlinejobs.ph. There you go, guys. Actually, thank you. Someone else put it up there with the wwws to make it linking. Thank you. So now, the next thing I should do is actually, now that we've actually got all these technical situations and issues overcome, it's live demo time. So let me just bring this over here. Now, we've got a ton of stuff in here. And what I've done is I'm actually on a different computer than my main one, so I don't have all my actual sites on this version. So I wanted to start off with a clean slate for you guys. So what I've done is I've put in a couple of things here, and I want to show, there's also been a couple of people reporting a couple of problems, so I want to kind of tackle those as well. Now, when we first launched on Monday, it was last Monday, Google, literally that day, changed the way that Google AdWords keyword tool works. So we had to literally scramble to do that. So some people were having problems with keyword research. Let me show you this. Basically, all you need to do is come up to your settings, PCC settings, and make sure that you have your standard Google AdWords account set up here. And if you have a Google AdWords account, it has to have AdWords activated. You should be fine. In fact, if I do this, click on the check button here, it should log in, and it tells me it's an invalid password. That's a great sign. Let me just make sure I actually typed it in right. So let me try that. Okay, successfully logged in that time. Okay, must have just been a typo on my part. Okay, I'm glad of that. Had me worried there. Now, the other thing I should also mention is a couple of the other things up here. We actually have lots of support for different things, including the best spinner support, so we can spin some content. And again, this is a great little tool. We actually have a very, very good spinner built in, but if you like the best spinner, we do support it. We also have support for proxies. Now, proxies allow you to rotate your IP address so that when you were doing things like posting links, when we're checking SEO data with Google, we're not getting a temporary, basically, we don't get banned from Google for using automated tools. We like to rotate with proxies. So basically, either of these sites, you can get free proxies, but I tend to go with actually paid setups because they're a lot more reliable and they're very, very cheap. Proxy Bonanza is probably the cheapest, and you can go to this tab here, Shared Proxies, and you can get, for $21 a month, about 70 proxies. Very, very simple to do, and the main reason we use that is when we're going to analyze what is going on with Google and and some of the stuff we're looking for, getting keyword scores and everything else, we need to make sure that we can access all that information. So 2 different options there. Proxy Bonanza is actually probably the cheapest. We also support death by capture for any capture solving for account creation. And also you can put in your ClickBank IDs and your Amazon IDs and stuff like that for any of the stuff that we post in content. So just wanted to cover that real quick. But let's start from scratch here. And I'm going to do a search for acne treatment. So I'm going to go hit search right now, and you can see at the bottom here, it's logging in. It's going to go to Google and actually pull that information. Now, while it's doing that, I showed you 2 blocks. So I'm going to go add those 2 blocks. And you can see I'm doing this at the same time. While it's keyword researching, I'm going to go add my other little sites here. So Home Business Haven at Gmail. And I can remember my password. And I'll call it Get Your Butt in Shape, because that's the one I'm going to add. And then I'll see here this Connect and Get Blogs. This will log in and say, okay, here's my blogs, the one we just created, and that one. Now, I can also add FTP here. Now, the reason for that is with a lot of the content, I actually like to post actual images. However, Blogger, another limitation of Blogger, is that it won't let you do that. It doesn't have image hosting. It's a real pain in the backside. But what we do is if you have a server, your own server somewhere, you can actually FTP that, add this information. So when we post, it automatically goes to FTP, uploads the image, and then links it to your post as well. So it's a way around that problem. We'll not do that in this case. So I'm just going to add that. So you can see now I've got my blog here. I'm also going to add the WordPress one that was the panic attack and stress. So you can do this. You can actually bulk import. If you have, like I did before the software was developed, like hundreds of blogs, you can actually import from a CSV list and add them all in at once. So that was very useful. And stress. And I'm actually just going to use the same description here. And then you need to make sure you have XML RPC enabled in your blog. Now, some people have been wondering about that, so I'm going to cover that real quick. Let me actually bring this up. So go to WP Admin, which is your admin control panel, and I'm just going to log in here. Now, XML RPC, without going all geeky, is a way for different services and tools to literally communicate with your blog. So you come on the left here under Settings and Writing, and then you come down here and you have under remote publishing, you need to enable XML RPC. So by doing that, it allows our software to literally talk directly to your blog and post for you. So it does prompt you to say, hey, remember to do that. And then if it's working, you're good to go. And it should pop up in just a second saying, yep. And one thing it does as well is if you have a blog set up that's brand new, it also installs a couple of plugins for stats tracking and stuff like that. So again, from this tool, you can also check the stats on your website. In fact, let me just do that real quick. If I have any stats to pull, let me go to panic attack and stress. Now, this only works for your own self-hosted WordPress ones. It doesn't work for Blogger blogs because, again, we can't add plugins to Blogger. So it's saying it hasn't detected it yet. Let's see if it actually does. No, it's not able to get them right now because it's just set this up. So, okay, so maybe in a day or so I've got some stats to work with. So, okay, and you know what? I must have interrupted this. Let me just see if it's going to go. Okay, I crashed my own keyword research here. So, okay, I'm going to let this run just for a second. But you can see why having your own setup is really, if you have your own hosting, if you're in control of your own sites, you just are in such better shape for the future. And hosting is dirt cheap. You can have a standard host for $15 a month and host pretty much unlimited sites on that. So really your only cost is getting your domains. And that isn't really that expensive. And you can work with .coms, .nets, and .org domains. You can even work with .infos as well. But the three that rank the best are the .coms, .net, and .org. In fact, let me just see if I can pull something up here. I just want to see if I can find this. Let's see. Comparison. I'm trying to see if I can find. I was trying to find it in my archives, but I have a good graphic that shows that .coms rank the best. Then .orgs actually rank better after that. And can't find that image. But basically, .orgs, .nets, .coms, .orgs, and .nets. Those are the priority. So you can see here we've got some information pulled, and you can see we've got yellows, we've got reds, and we've got greens. The stuff I want is the greens. The lower competition, the better. And then I want some stuff with some good daily traffic. And let's see, I want something hovering around, something like this, cause of acne. That's a good one. And then I could also go find the domains. And if I wanted to, I could start searching for domains and find domains. I'm not going to do that because it takes a while. But you can get an idea that this is your AdWords competition. But in general, your AdWords competition is very much in line with the competition for the search engines. For example, if I did, just as a rough one, apple cider vinegar acne treatment, and if I did that as a search, apple cider vinegar acne treatment, you can see there's really not that much competition for that. Well, that's good. That means if I'm hitting this right with a site targeted to that, I can literally dominate that phrase. But it gets a lot of searches every single month. That's an instant acne niche I can target, load up with some AdSense ads, load up with some ClickBank ads, and start making some money from that. So you've seen the blog manager, you've seen the keyword research. In fact, let me just do a quick keyword, an SEO scoring on this one, and I'll just score the selected one if I can. And what it's doing right now is it's going out there to see. Oops, I actually chose the wrong one. But it'll actually do a score and calculation on this, see what the SEO competition is like. It'll check the first page and give me a score. That's a pretty low number, and I can see how it's compared. If I click on this, I can actually get an idea about the website competition. I can see their total points, and I have different aspects I look at this through and see, okay, different points for domain, in title, in URL, H1. I even studied the contents of the website. So I come up with a good score. If it's a low score, I'm happy with that. I'd go after that. So you get an idea about how that scores as well. So now what we want to do real quick, and I'm gonna spin through the rest of this. We can add content to any one of our sites. So let's go and let's go to our Blogger one, just to show you posting to the Blogger blog. I'm going to write just a very quick test post. Now, this is a manual post. You don't have to use auto posting. You can use this just to literally blast out to all of your websites and do whatever you like. So I'm just going to create a test post. I'm going to have a link in here, maybe to Google, just for the sake of it. I'm going to make sure it's published, and I'm going to post it right now. So I'm just going to put in this is a test post. We are live. So I'm just going to do that. I could actually pull in, now this won't post to YouTube, to Blogger, but we can also pull in YouTube videos if it's a self-hosted one. We can also add in images from Flickr. For example, if I wanted, let's say, Mustang, I could do a search for Mustang, and I'll log in, and there we go. Okay, P51 Mustang or Ford Mustang. I'll grab that one, for example, double-click it, and I could add that to my website if I wanted to. So, there's all sorts of stuff you can do, but in this case, I'm just going to save it. Whoops, I forgot the tag. So let's just call this test. Save that. And it says, okay, it's saved. Now what I can do is, if I want to, I can post it. Now you can see that that little icon there has changed to dark, which means it's posted. And if I bring up this website, had no posts. If I refresh that now, you can see, hey presto, we have a direct post ready to rock. And again, this all could be monetized. We could be talking about getting your butt in shape if that was the keyword. Or the other thing we can do, as I say, we can set lots of content up for a long period of time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change blogs now. I'm going to come over to the Panic Attack one, and let's set up maybe some article stuff. And I want to grab some stuff from maybe Articles Base. Actually, you know what? Let's grab some from Easy in Articles. And this is Panic Attack, so I want to get stuff on Panic Attack. I'm going to make sure that's published. It's got my categories. I have one category called blog, so that's cool. Automatic, I'm going to let it just run and post every 12 hours. Actually, you know what? Approximately one a day. And I can retain the links in the article. You should do that for most article directories, but it's entirely up to yourself. And then come to the advanced settings. Maybe I want to spin this. And in this case, I'm just going to use local spinner. I could uniqueify it. Now, this is a really cool SEO tactic. I can't really tell you exactly how this works because it's top secret, but it's very cool, and it makes almost every article 100% unique. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to turn on stop words only. I'm not going to spin the title, but let's see. I want to protect a word, so I want to protect the word panic attack. So we'll add that as a protected word, and panic attacks. That way the spinner doesn't spin these because that's the keyword we want to target. So if I'm happy with that, I could also add some Amazon items on the bottom if I wanted to. I'm not going to do that for speed here. And I can auto-generate tags based on the content, or put my own in if I want to. But let's just grab 10 articles to start. And again, let that run, and then we'll click that to actually start pulling them. And what's happening right now is we're logging into we're going to search e-zine articles. We're finding some articles based on panic attacks. And with any luck, in just a few moments, including the spinning, we should start to see content. Now, it takes a little while because we're not only going to find these articles, we're spinning them, we're adding this unifier code to them, and then we're pulling them, and then should be listing them. It takes a few moments, so I'm just going to let that run. Here we go, start to get them in. So here's one. And like I said, we're pulling in 5, so it takes a while, because also, here's the thing. I haven't set up any proxies here, just for the sake of demo, so we also have to take time so that e-zine articles doesn't say, hey, that's enough. So we've got 5 articles here, and hopefully that should stop. Oh, it's actually pulling a couple more, okay. But you can see that we've got this article here, and we can format this. In fact, let me just format that. Actually, it's pulled it as HTML, so let me do it this way and then flip it back. So it's going to take this. It's got our article. It's actually a very long article. And then it's also got a link back to their website and everything else. So let me actually go ahead and let's just take another one here real quick. I'm going to put an image in here real quick. Actually, I'm going to put a video. Let's see, panic attack. Okay, that's panic attack. Never say never. Okay, got some great, apparently, music. So let's actually insert that video. Okay, let's put that in the right place. Okay, let me get that cat one again. Okay, so that's good. Insert the video. And I'll just make that full width and then drop that down a line. And then I'm also going to add an image in here just for the sake of it. So let's add an image. I'm not sure what's on Flickr for panic attack, but okay. Oh, there's a picture of a spider. That'll do. So insert that. And that's actually a bit big, so let's scale that down a bit. So we got that right there. And again, I'll just go ahead and save this. Okay, so that was the one there. I'm now going to just select that one and post it to the blog. And what you'll see is this icon turns dark. And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to post some of the other ones here to the blog. And you'll see what happens is as I'm posting them, they will appear on the website, but only one of them right now. Because what it's going to do is queue up this content. So close the Blogger blog. And what we'll do is, actually we're on this one. Let's go to the main website. And what you'll do is, if I go to the blog section, you'll see this. And maybe I posted the wrong one, but it should have had the image and the YouTube video in there. So what we'll also do is show you, the other thing, the main thing I wanted to show you was that in the posts, if I come to the right section, we have all these other ones scheduled. So this one will go on the 14th and every few hours. So it's set up to go every 12 hours or 6 hours or every day based on whatever I set. So again, as time rolls by, these new ones will be printed. Now, we've got a little bit of an issue here because of the way it pulled from this with these P tags, so I'm going to make sure that's taken care of. But that's the beautiful thing with this. I can actually come to any one of these articles before they're published and actually come through them. If there's a problem with the way it's been pulled, I can actually go ahead and manually format it and do as I see fit. So, for example, what I've got here, if I actually grab this, I could pull this into a text editor, for example, and grab that and post it back. Now, this is because I've got the unifier on, so I'm going to try this. do it into Notepad. Now, here's a good thing. I should mention this at the same time. If you guys notice any problems at all with this, and I'm just going to post that back in here. And it's still doing the P thing. Okay, never mind. But one thing you should know is we actually have a very special error reporting thing. So if there's any problems, it actually stores the information here. So you can actually post that to our support team and show them if there's a problem or if you hit a bug or what have you. No problem at all. We're here to help you. And we have an auto reporting feature built in. So if it hits a problem and you don't know it's hit a problem, it actually tells us in advance so we can have our team work on it. Now, the other thing you can do, which is really, again, I'm going to blast through this, is you can see that we already have an RSS feed added here because we added a site. And it said, okay, well, we know this one because they added a site. Boom. And we can then go ahead and submit this. And again, we've got a detailed video on this. This submits it out to all the different search engines, to the blog RSS directory, should I say. But if I want to just quickly say, hey, you know what, let's just go ping this. I can select a RSS feed and ping it. And you can see down here, it's already out there blasting to 100 different sites. So it's already working there. And we can also add our site. And this will work for any site you have. So, for example, I have I Am Success Center, which is one of my main websites. It doesn't just limit you to your own websites that you've added to this. You can actually add any of your other ones as well and tell it to actually start submitting this. And what it will do is it starts creating backlinks back to your site by submitting it out to all these different directories. Another thing you can do is, as we said, create social syndication. Crank this out to many, many different Web 2.0 properties, to blogs, to micro niches or micro blogs like Twitter, Haiku, the Identica sites. There's all sorts of sites out there that in turn you just micro post to, and off it goes. It just works and kicks butt basically. And then from there you can also create your link cyclone, which for any setup, you have to create a network of accounts, maybe some Blogger blogs, WordPress.com. We actually detail this a lot more in the video because I know we're running out of time here. So I'm really cranking through this. But you set up a network of maybe 10 or 20 Web 2.0 sites. And then what we do is we start, every time a post goes to your website, we set this up to be spun and then posted to the link cyclone. Now, let me just demonstrate real quick how that works, because it's one of those things that you can't really explain. It's more of a visual thing. So let me just fire up Photoshop here real fast. And wait for this to fire up. But basically what we do is we create almost a link pyramid, but it's done in a very special way. It's a way that I've developed myself for a lot of the SEO stuff we do. Basically, for every single post that you create, whether it's automatically posted or manually posted, the system knows this, and it adds it to a very, very powerful and special queue. So let me just close this. And then what we do, okay, stop working, great. Okay, well, I might not be able to display this, but actually, you know what? Let's do it. Let's improvise. Let's do it on a slide. So let me do a new slide here. So basically what we do is we create, let's see, what's the shape I can use here? Okay, we create a very simple page. And then under this, we create 3 very powerful spun versions of your original content. Now this one, let's just say for example's sake, is your original content. So this is level 1 links. And each one of these will actually link back to your original post, just like this. In fact, let me do this again. So it's linking here and also over here. So all of these link back to your original post. Very powerful stuff, and these are high page ranking Web 2.0 properties. But we don't stop there. We can then take these and then create another layer. In fact, we might create a lot more just like that. And then each one of these, in turn, will randomly link back. In fact, let me see if I can do this completely like this and like here. And maybe it'll link to this one, but it will also possibly link to this one. And it might also link to this one. So usually at this second level, it links all over the place. And what it creates is, if I extrapolate that out, is a large interlinking network. And here's the cool thing. We might have one of these here for every single post we do, okay? So let me see if I can shrink this down. Okay, that's not going to work. Let me just group this. Okay, so where I have one of these for every single post, guess what? We'll have another one over here for another post, and another one over here, and another one over here. You can see what happens. This is the principle of scale and automation at its best. And here's the cool thing. And a lot of people, again, don't really. This is where my area of speciality is, general geekery, I guess. But we will actually link this network to this one, and then randomly post again this one, maybe to this one as well. So all these little link pyramids interlink and do a whole ton of stuff for each other. So that's kind of the real power. That one system alone took months to develop. And we put it down to the point where you just add a few blogs and then click Start Cyclone. That's it. And then you can actually export all of the links that is generated, and you can keep an eye on the link cyclones as they're formed and all the links and everything else. We've kept it as simple as possible, but then you can export these and then take them and create a fourth or fifth level by adding them to a site. Here's a great resource, guys, dripfeedblasts.com. Another one, backlinkindexer.com. And another one for you, linkalicious.com. Now, Linkalicious, I can never spell it right, so let's see if I can find it. Actually, it's Linkalicious. There you go, linkalicious.me. So I'll put that in the there, and drip feed blasts. And the other one I mentioned was backlinkindexer.com. So those are three great resources that will allow you to do a hell of a lot. So go ahead, guys. That is the demo portion over. So I guess with that being said, I'll hand this back over to Anik to take over, and then we can run from the end.
Cool. Well, thank you very much, Sean. That was awesome, guys. I hope you've been taking notes. Now, a lot of you are asking if this is going to be recorded and put in the members area. Of course it is. We would never not do that. Before I continue or anything, I want to take 2 minutes right now to impress upon you how urgently you need to register right now for the next webinar. It's on October 17th, Thursday, coming up in just 4 or 5 days here, at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It's the same time. And it's at lethalcommission.com /webinar. Oh, not October, November. Ha, nice guy. Duh. See, I keep telling you guys, you don't have to be smart to make money online. I keep proving it to you over and over in a webinar. I'm gonna type out the URL here, guys, for you real quick. Okay, so I'm pushing this upon you because of a really specific reason. Not only, we are going to talk about something that goes even beyond lethal commission. I'm literally going to talk to you about the death of niches. Now, how crazy does that sound? But I'm not hyping. If you guys know me by now, you know I try to avoid that as much as possible. Literally, there's a whole new trend coming up that is destroying the way niche marketing is going to be. And if you can get out to the forefront of it, you are going to be seriously in a situation that is a lot better than you can imagine. And right now we talked about how we can launch these sites and target niches where we put on banners and Google AdSense, and we hope that someone will click something and buy something, or click something or put a lead in, and then we make money. Well, let me tell you this: what if you were getting paid money to put that banner there to begin with? All right. That's all I'm going to talk about right now, because if I get going, I'm going to end up doing another 1.5 hour training session right now. We're running out of time. But it's very important. So Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, that's New York time, essentially the exact time we started today, except this Thursday, a few days down the road. You guys got to be there. You absolutely have to be there, because I'm going to share with you something I've never, ever, ever, ever shared. I'm very quiet. The main reason I've never shared it is also because I'm quietly working to perfect it. And it's just ready now for a few of us to see. And the thing is, we're going to have a packed house. So the other thing I want to tell you while I have your attention is make sure you show up on that webinar a minimum of 10 minutes before. So if it starts at 9, right, show up by 8:50. Because otherwise, I can almost guarantee you will not have a seat in that training session. It is literally going to be one of the most powerful training sessions I do in 2011, period. And it's going to create a wave going into 2012. So again, go to lethalcommission.com/webinar, register for it. There's no cost to register. And again, thank you for being here tonight. I wanted us to do some Q&A, but I saw about an hour ago that it was going to be we were going to get too late. So what we did is, I don't know if a lot of you guys noticed, my support reps and some of our lead guys here have been answering questions. What we're going to continue to do is submit your questions to us, to our support team. We will continue to watch them. We will continue to answer them. If we see recurring issues or recurring questions, Sean and I will get back on another training session and address them with you. But Sean, unless you have anything else to add, I was going to pretty much close it out, thank everyone for their time, and go get some sleep.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a pleasure to sit here with you guys and actually go through this. And, again, I really want to tip my hat to some of the support guys who've been on here. I've seen them furiously answering questions, because literally there's a lot of scroll here, a lot of people with chat, a lot of people wanting to know a couple of bits and pieces. I've tried to tackle as many of those as I could, because literally it's scrolling so fast I can't keep up with it. But I did want to try and address a few of those things in the live demo. But yeah, we'll be doing more of these, guys. I want to make sure that everyone takes full advantage of this. And literally, if you're noticing a problem, here's the thing, guys. Have you ever been involved with Windows when it first was launched? There was always a few niggles. There's always a few things. We tested this extensively before launch. But when you're putting it out to thousands of people, they will find things and combinations of problems that you would never even have dreamed of testing in your beta testing. So if you have any problems whatsoever, make sure that you give us as much information as you can. If you've got an error message popping up on your screen, if you've got anything in your logs, if you can do a screen capture, get that over to us. And then our developers are working furiously. They're working 7 days a week. Basically, these are my guys who will take anything that you throw at us that's in terms of a problem. We'll make sure it's resolved. And literally, even on launch day, we had 2 updates on launch day, just knocking right out there. And we're having several updates a week at the moment, facing, as anything that shows up is being dealt with very, very quickly. So we want to make sure that you guys have the best experience and that we create the perfect tool here for you. So even as we move forward, you guys are helping us by providing us with all of that great information. And it really helps me make sure I've developed the best tool for you guys.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Sean. And everyone that's been here, thank you so much for joining us. I know that it's crazy hours and all across the world. I will see you guys very soon. We'll release the replay of this, but I will see you in just a few days, Thursday at 9 p.m., exact time you were here today, and we are going to talk about some absolutely crazy stuff to get you started on a new trend so that you're way ahead of it and making money from it literally as early as by the end of this week. So I'll see you guys in a few days. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, depending where you are in the world, and have a great day or a great night. I'll see you the next time. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. One last thing I just want to throw out there. I saw a couple of people asking where you can get the update link. Guys, every time you run the software, it checks to make sure there are updates, and it will automatically update. So there you go, guys. Good evening, good morning, thank you, and good night.
All right, everyone. Talk to you later.